Going to be a review of set selections where we can, it's right there, it's grayed out, on how we can give our shapes multiple colors by selecting areas and saving those selected areas and then applying a color just to those specific areas. So we've kind of learned in class how to do how to select polygons by going to the polygons tool over here and then basically rolling over those polygons with our selection tool, and then that has a radius. It appears as a circle, and if you click on the circle, select the live selection tool up here, you can go down here to the attributes under options and see where it says radius, and that's where you can actually apply a smaller radius or a larger radius. So there's the larger radius, and then here is the smaller radius. It also helps if you just zoom in and not try to do this with your eagle eye from a million miles away. All right, so what we can do with this set selection is we can go ahead and select like areas on our ship. I'm trying to get the same area that I selected over there. I think I'm 3 down. So those are lined up. Looks like I got 1 extra. That's how I kind of do it. I look at the top and then I kind of count polygons when you're just on primitive stuff. But let's say I wanted to create like a racing stripe of swirling, twirling, amazing energy, like that. Okay, so I have both those there. Whoops, I gotta go in here and get this one as well. So I'm up to that one. Trying to get the same amount of polygons, 3 from the edge there. All right, that should be, because well, you got to be super uber careful, because if you're not, it's really hard to kind of undo like wacky polygon stuff that you did by mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that as a selection so that I can give the ship a separate color and the stripe as a separate color. All right, remember your command key subtracts from your selection and your shift key adds. And you also have the ability under select to do a loop selection, which like I could have just grabbed all of that stuff right there like that if I wanted to. So I could go and do that type of thing. I didn't want this, so I'm going to hold down my command key. It also works to deselect and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, I don't want that much selected. I'm just kind of just giving you an example. So let's double check our selection again, make sure I didn't jack it up. All right, so I want to set that as a selection. So what we do is we name the selection and then we tell the material to apply to that selection. So I need a material in here, so I'm going to go load an animated background called Fire Cycle. This is a shader. And then maybe we want, I don't know, let's go look and see what we have under metal. Metal gold. I don't know what that looks like. That looks like crap. Some of these materials down there are really kick-ass, but others are not so good. They kind of suck. Like the metal silver down here is amazing, but then like the gold I just tried is a big sack. Anyways, I'm gonna go to, we'll just do metal silver since I mentioned it. All right, so I want to have the ship silver, and maybe we'll put a couple other things on here as well. So I have that selected, right? So what I do is you go select, set selection, under select in the menu bar, set selection down there, third from the bottom, and then it just asks you over here in the attributes to name it. and it gives it like an automatic name of polygon selection, which is really lame. You want to name it something very simple: red, blue, yellow, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, A1, H, alphanumeric, something like that. So it's really easy, because you have to, when you tell the color to apply to this selection, you have to type in the name, and if you do like a typo or you spell it wrong or something, then it won't work. So I'll just say like 1, 2, 3, okay? To keep it really simple, all right? It appears up here as a selection tag called polygon selection, a triangle, which you can edit at any time. So right now, if I double click on that, it'll reselect it. So I can deselect it, double click on the selection, and reselect it. If for some reason I made a mistake and I need to add like a little pieces part to that, like let's just say these two in the front. So I go ahead and get those two in the front. Or maybe I want to add like some area up here, like that. And maybe an area in the back here. Okay, I can go ahead and reset the selection. So just go, while this tag is selected and while I've added the new pieces to the selection area, I think I want to subtract that though. I go back to selection and go set selection, and it'll update the selection to the new stuff that you've done, keeping the same name. So you can constantly update, even if you've already applied the texture to that area. You can update and fix it. You never have to redo it. Okay, so I can deselect, reselect, and then there it is now. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this fire shader material, we're going to drop it on our bool, and it's going to go to the whole ship, which we don't want. We want it to go only to that selected area. So we click on the actual texture tag now, and then just where we were animating our material and our like the explosion energy wave that came out, we made it disappear. Well, there's a selection tag right here. You see this bullet, and it's an empty box. So you just click in there and you type in the name. That's why we want to keep the name simple, so you don't like accidentally do a typo or misspell it or something. Because if you misspell it, it won't work. Or if you do a type error. But if you keep it simple, like alphanumeric, A1, A2, A3, red, blue, green, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, whatever, stuff like that, it's really easy and it never malfunctions. And so now that texture applies just to those areas, which is pretty dope. Now as far as I should make just a new material of blue or something. So we're just going to go to, because I don't have any lights here, so it's not going to reflect well. You know what we can do? We make it luminant. Luminant materials always, they have their own light. So if I drag the luminant material onto my ship, it goes to the whole ship. Darn it, what do I do? Well, I just go over here and I drag that tag to the front. So the order that you put the tags in will affect how it looks. And now I have different materials there. I can like, oh, what if like you've already colored a section, can you add a material? Sure. I could go to deselect and then make sure your old tags are deselected. You can have as many tags as you want. I could have a tag for each one of these like polygons if I wanted to. So I'm going to go to select, and I'm going to go to deselect all. That's how you can also deselect. And I'm going to go to the loop selection, and we'll get just like an area back here. And let's say that I extrude that out, and then I do like a bevel on it or something. All right, so, and let's say I want that thin little stripe on the bevel to be its own material. So I go to select, set selection. It appears as another selection tag. I need another material here to use on that, so I'm going to go ahead and make a luminant yellow material, so you can see it. I drag the luminant yellow material onto my bool. It colors the whole ship. I have to, whoops, I forgot to name this selection. I could click on it, go back down here, rename it. So even if I screw it up and forget, I can always go back. I named it yellow. So now I'm going to go to my texture tag now. So I get off of the selection tag, the triangle, go to the texture tag, and I type in where it says selection, yellow. Now I have to type it in the same way. If I did like capitals or something, it won't work. And so now I have three colors on my shift. Okay. So pretty groovy, amazing. And you're going to want to do that to your ships as you start texturing now. Set selection. Name the selection. Drag your material over here and tell it to go to that selection. And make sure when you set new selections that you don't have the old selections selected. Otherwise, it will replace the old one with the new one. So you can just click off into empty space if you don't want to have any of these tags selected. And that's a good way of just deselecting everything, doing some new stuff. All right, that's it. I'll see you.